Well, welcome to the Stone Roadie podcast. It's the one you don't want to miss. It stars Craig Reed, the Stone Roadie, and Griff, the rocket scientist. Let's not forget Kathy Godsey and all the old friends that come along. Lord, we'll be talking Skynyrd and leaving you with a song.
Rise and shine, everybody. It's time to wake and bake with Craig Reed and Griff Martin.
The Stone Roadie Show, podcast 326. And roll 'em if you got 'em. Alrighty then, fellow Stone Roadie Dimension. Looky here. Hey, my name's Craig Reed, a.k.a. the Stone Roadie. And this is my co-host, co-pilot, and the rocket scientist, Griff Martin. And I guess on today's show, well, this is Monday, September the 8th, and it's another Wake and Bake the Morning Buzz. And I guess today we're going to talk about Paul Abraham. He got out of the hospice and went into the hospital. That's kind of backwards, but I guess toward the end of the show here, we're going to do a little memorial or whatever, show some clips that Paul was on he's been on four Stone Roadie shows, and my friend Leland Burpee, who I talked about on previous shows when me and Leon set in for the bass player with Jefferson Starship. I talked about me and Leland going to the show and taking a bottle of Booker Nose, and Papa John Creech wanted to know if we had any liquor, and we said we had this Booker Nose. I said, but you be careful with this because it's 136 proof or something. He just looked at me like I was some kind of stupid white boy. He says, shit, man, I come from New Orleans down in the honky tonks down there. I can handle anything. He took his chug of that and it took his breath away. He's going, ice. We had to give him ice, and then his wife was there. She said, you got any more of that? But yeah, that was Leland. But he passed away here a few days ago. Steve Reynolds called me. He's good friends with Leland too. And my grandson Tanner finally had his shoulder operation, and it turned out it wasn't just his shoulder. He ripped his bicep away from the bone, and they had to wrap string around it so it would reattach to the bone. So I think he's got a little more longer period of healing time than was expected. And I went to the Canfield Fair and saw Lynyrd Skynyrd. What was that? Monday. Yeah, Monday. Behind me back there, that's all the amps from stage left. Gary's there with that PV right on my head right there. Knock, knock, knock. That's Gary's rig there. And I don't know who this Magnavox stuff belongs to, but this is the bass player and Damon and Gary. That's their rig there. That's all their amps there. And you can see right above my head there, I gave Tim, their guitar tech, one of them Clayton stickers, and then over here I gave him some of these.
You stuck them right on there, huh?
Cool. Yeah. Skull and crossbones stickers and the Clayton stickers. I gave him a few of them.
Oh, that's cool.
Some of the crew guys, but that's Gary's rig there. But all their amps are over here on stage left, and then their speakers are behind whatever set they're using. So, yeah. And I asked him about the tweed stuff, and he said that Dale has that. That's in Chicago with the rest of because that's Gary's stuff, and that's in Chicago. They took it there and refurbished it and stuff. He said most of it's there. He doesn't really think that most of doesn't. I don't really understand whether anything's in sound check or sound stage or not, or whatever that place is where they store their equipment, if they still do. But anyways, they're not using any of that stuff. It's all in a set now. And yeah, but I got there. I planned on getting there about 3 o'clock, and hell, I didn't leave my house till 4:30. I got there about 20 till 6, and they went on at 7:30. Yeah, I got there a little late, and so it was a little crowded. So when I got there, I had this pass with me from the
That's
Survivor
the
Tour.
same one that you had when you went and they wouldn't let you in.
Yeah, yeah. That one. Then I had another one here. There's another one. That one. But that's what I had when I showed it to him and told him I was with the crew, and I had it passed backstage, and I told him, I said, I'm handicapped, so I'd like to get as close as I can to the back. So he said he got on the radio and called called a couple and back to the production office. And from what I understand, Johnny was back there in the production office, and he had him send a couple of police for after me to give me a police escort back there.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so there was a couple of four-wheelers that showed up, and one in front of me and one behind me, and escorted me through the crowd in my car. So yeah, I parked right there, right back by the buses. I was right by the buses and stuff. Yeah, it was real cool. And yeah, so then they gave me one of their official passes.
Cool, man. Cool.
Yeah, so I could get around anywhere I wanted to go. So yeah, so I
Is that the Hell House up top?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, look at that.
And I don't know what A means. Anytime, any place, anywhere. I don't know. Remember for Ross? Yeah,
Well, what's on the other side of it?
It's the same thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Same thing.
That's quite a damn pass right there, man.
Yeah,
That's like a golden ticket, but it's red.
This is pretty cool. So yeah, so I first person I ran into from the crew was Boxcar Steve Trump, and he was with the production manager that wouldn't let me in the last time, and he apologized. He goes, "Man, I thought it was a one of them things, where people was just bullshitting trying to get in." He goes, "Man, I'm sorry, and everything." So, yeah, it was a mistake. It was totally a mistake. Didn't have anything to do with the management or anything, like I said before. And so yeah, I ran into Boxcar, and he said. I had some of them stickers, like I said. I wanted to give Boxcar some, so when we were coming back, we stopped by the bus and got on the bus, and Dave Baker was in there, and I sat and talked to him for a little bit, and then we got off the bus, and Tim Miller, their new Guitar Roadie tech, that's Damon and the bass player. Yeah.
It's a new bass player, isn't it?
Yeah, Damon and the bass player. Yeah, there's just two of them over there. What was I thinking? Three. Huh. Well, anyways, yeah, because Chris is Ricky and Sparky's guitar tech guy named Chris is there. So yeah, there was only two rigs. There's only two rigs there. I said there was three. I shouldn't have ate that last gummy so early today. So, anyways, but yeah, I was real impressed with the show. And at the end of this podcast, I actually went out front with my DJI camera and filmed Alabama and Freebird all the way through. So we got that at the end. I guess after we show the little bit of Paul Abraham's footage, we're gonna show the Freebird in Alabama from out at the soundboard. I was out at the soundboard, so
Yeah, actually turned out really good. Craig did a great job videotaping.
well, even though that DJI is light and everything, and it's not like a phone where you got to hold it up like this or nothing. You can just hold it like that, but still had to hold it like that for a half an hour straight. So it wasn't the easiest thing.
Well, thank God for the big screen, because the big screen, you don't have to zoom in, because if you were to zoomed in, you would have been like
Oh yeah, with the screen in the back, it was cool. Yeah, and then at the end of their concert, you'll hear them. It'll come after they walk off. You'll hear "Happy Trails to You," and I thought they stole that from us, but. I asked David Baker, I said, how long have they been using Happy Trails? He goes, oh my God, 6-8 years.
Yeah, so we stole it from them.
Yeah, so we stole it from them, unintentionally. But if they start saying "see you later, alligator" at the Wild Crocodile, they got some closet watchers for sure. But
we don't care. They can if they want.
So yeah, we stole Happy Trails off them, and we was accusing them of them stealing it off us. So there you go with that. So hey, Jack West. Hey man, read your emails. I got your package ready to send out, but I want to know what color kazoo you want me to send. And
wow.
And last week I made a request that anybody that was a winner that had a specific color kazoo that they wanted to write in, and nobody has. But there's a few people that I've got wrote down that's already told me.
Hell, they might. Some of them be dead.
Oh God. Hey, and Jeff Marconet. Hey, I'll take you up on that wager. He wants me to do something. I won't let on what it is, but he said if I did it that he would donate $100 to the Survivor Fund, but I don't want to do it.
Are we gonna find out what it is?
Yeah, we're gonna.
Okay.
Yeah, he wants me to wear something. Then I told, and I'll do it, but there's a more appropriate time coming up, aka Halloween.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
So I might use that for my Halloween outfit this year. And hey, you know what? I've been I talked before about I was having a lot of dreams, and I never realized that I started wearing these copper bracelets. I'll have one on both arms.
Are they good dreams or bad dreams?
Well, they're I don't know. I never dream about the plane crash. They got
that's
a copper
good.
bracelet on each wrist, and I said, man, every night I have these real explicit dreams. And I guess these copper bracelets are supposed to help your dreams or something like that.
It just reactivates the THC in your blood, in your THC stream.
It's supposed to do something with your dreams. I don't know, but and I don't know that that's what's happening. But just kind of awful funny. I started wearing these bracelets, and then I have these really vivid dreams every night. But I don't never have dreams about the plane crash. It's always a lot of times it's about being on the road, but it's never about the crash or nothing like that. So,
well, because you don't remember anything.
Yeah, I guess that's it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
So that's all the jibber jabber I got. What do you got going on there, Griff?
Well, we were mentioning Paul Abraham, and Paul. We're not sure what's going on with him, but a lot of times, like when people aren't doing well and you hear they're in hospice and stuff, and then you hear they die, and then everybody starts talking about how great they were. Well, we like to go ahead and just start talking about how great Paul is now. And for the next 3 or 4 podcasts, I'm going through the podcast that we did with Paul Abraham, and I'm pulling out all the best parts, and they're really good, man. And so we're gonna at each one of the end of the podcast until we use them all up. We're gonna air the Paul Abraham footage, and a lot of it he's with Mike ESTES, and those two guys were great together, you know. So starting today, we're gonna start celebrating Paul Abraham, and everybody, when you watch that, you know, if you don't know who Paul was, you certainly will. So start saying some prayers for him, and who knows, maybe a miracle will happen. And then right after that, Craig didn't video any of the backstage stuff. It was just a couple songs. So they're really good, though, and high quality definition. So it's going to be Paul Abraham and then Craig's videos. So don't go anywhere, which is not going to leave us any time for comments and questions. But another thing I wanted to mention, too, is the monument, a little more information trickling in. It's on the 18th, and I'm going to put up a little poster here so you can look at it. I've been seeing this poster on Facebook, and you can read what's going on there. Lone Star Skynyrd and another band. I forget the name of them, but there's always something good going on. And from what I understand, there's going to be some food trucks. And Craig plans on being there. I plan on being there. You never know what's going to happen, but we both plan on being there. So you guys start making your plans and getting your hotel rooms, which I've never really seen them sell out in the hotel rooms, but you never know. So yes, and more to come on that. It's more, the more I find out, the more I'll disseminate. Then also, I had a long chat with Greg Martin, and he's going to be, Craig and I are going to tape it this Thursday. Greg Martin's going to be coming on, the Kentucky Headhunters, Greg Martin. Of course, he's, I even saw where he had a video where I looked at a YouTube video where he played with Joe Bonamassa and did Crossroads. You guys can look that up. And then, you know, he took Ed's place when Johnny broke Ed's finger, and he'll talk about that. He's got a lot of great stories, really great guy. And I'd like to thank Chris McAllister for hooking us up. Chris McAllister of Second Helping hooked us up with him. And he's working on hooking up some other people. I'm not going to mention who they are, but he's working on that. So we got that coming up to look forward to. And other than that, I got somebody that sent me, actually Jim Dolan sent me some stamps. And I appreciate that for, you know, mailing all those stickers out. And just because I got those stamps, I picked somebody out of the comments to send them a sticker that's signed by Gene Odom, a band sticker with the Dean Kilpatrick type art on it that I did of the band. And pretty popular. So Brian Dugas, and I don't want to be getting 5 Brian Dugas in my email. You know, there's only one, and I think it's pronounced right, Dugas. Brian, send me an email to edwg59@gmail.com and claim your sticker. So, yeah, so thanks for that. And there's Craig's got the video with no sound on it back there, and that's what you're going to be looking at with the sound. Really pretty good quality sound, too. Craig, I think you did a great job, man.
It sounded really, really good live. It really did. I was really impressed with him. And I was kind of disappointed how it sounded on the camera, but I guess you can't get that full fidelity, you know.
And you said you talked to Johnny, and at first he was a little bit weird, probably because You
Well, I
know.
was up on stage, and he just walked up, and he was kind of watching, looking at the first band, and he was telling me about the first band. So it was a relative of somebody, and then later, yeah, he come up, and we were, and yeah, we talked.
And then after a while, it was like old times, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they rolled out.
Matter
They
of
rolled
fact,
out the.
Damon, all the crew guys came up to me and said, "Man, you're like a legend around here." And the ones I didn't know, and then Damon, when I was on the side of the stage, he said, it's nice that you came and everything. And I talked to him for a minute, and talked to Carol Chase of Honkhead. She was real cool. We were always pretty close, me and the Honkhead, Dale and Carol.
That had to be nice, to be
Yeah, it
able
was
to you
cool.
go sit on the bus and hang out and just like old times, and everybody was happy to see you. And
Yeah, Dave
yeah,
Baker said, man, he's a monitor guy. He said, man, come over and hang out in Monitor World. So that's where uh, Lori Shoemaker was caught me over there. She got me on camera over there on video, moving around a little bit over on stage right on Monitor World, and then I spent a lot of time over on stage left over um, in the Guitar World over there.
well, Lori, if you got that video, send it to me, and I'll put it on the podcast. Send it to my email, edwg59@gmail.com. And yeah, we'd like to see a little backstage with Craig back there
Oh, it
anyway.
was just a little bit off the side. It was just you can't even hardly. She had to ask me if it was me. The reason I knew it was me is because I had a blue shirt on.
You remember the last podcast? You had the flag. I think it was the last podcast. You had the flag up behind there, and you were talking about how you
Yeah,
set it
yeah. How
up.
I rigged it on the
Well,
poles. Yeah.
I talked to Chad, or Chad called me and said, "Hey, you know what happened to that flag, don't you?" And I go, "No." And he goes, "Yeah, my dad had it out in the barn, and I took that thing. He was just a kid at the time, and he said he took it and he had it in his room or somewhere, and then they moved, and it got put in the attic at I think his mother's house or something, wherever she was at, and then it ended up getting thrown in the trash."
No kidding.
Yeah,
I had it up in my storage stuff. He
yeah,
snagged it.
yeah, and he had it in his room, and then I guess they were going to move, and it got put up in the attic, and then when she moved or whatever, something to do with a move, and then it got just thrown in the trash. And
Oh,
he said somebody made a comment about that thing's, they'd have paid 100 grand for that flag.
oh God.
Yeah, so in some dump somewhere is that, well, it's
You
being,
never know if that was 50 years ago. It's just
yeah,
like, and when I started selling, when I had all that stuff, it was like, what am I ever going to do with all this stuff? Have a big yard sale or something? I said, it's going to be crazy. And then, a few years later, here come eBay.
yeah, and wasn't it you said or no, Tony, that guy who was kind of popping in when he came over, said he's
Uh-huh,
the one that
yeah.
turned you on to eBay.
No, not
Yeah,
really.
that's what he
My
told me.
friend Tim,
Yeah.
Tim Starcher is actually the one that really got me going on eBay and had me resign. You guys said you got to learn how to sign your name, so he got me to, and then he taught me. He said Sunday night was the best night to close, and because everybody's home, and he's the
Were
one that
you
came up. He's the one that came up with the documents of authenticity.
were you how did you learn to do the computer? Because most people, they had trouble with that.
Uh,
I remember.
I got a computer in 1996, right after they came out. I got a Packard Bell, and I had AOL. You got mail. And you had so many minutes. You had 90 minutes on the. You could only be on there a few minutes at a time. You had minutes. You could be on there. Yeah, I started out early. I don't know, my typing has improved dramatically, but I still only type with a few fingers.
Because when I was working there for the government, there for a contracting for NASA, and there's a lot of old Apollo guys that they were old when I hired on, and then they started switching to computers, and you had to go around with a tablet and stamp off your work and sign into your job. And those guys said, man, I can't do this. They were technophobes. And a lot of them retired because of that, and I had to go to class and learn all that stuff and then teach all the guys how to use them. And some of those guys just refused to do it. I mean, they couldn't even work the mouse. I'd be like, no, man, you got to push the right button, and they'd push the left, and then I can't do it. I'm quitting. And so they would just retire, It was crazy.
Actually, my neighbor, Debbie, she's passed away now, but she had a boyfriend, and he was a computer whiz. He worked at a place where that was his job, selling trucks on the internet. And he taught me. He fixed my mistakes a lot when I messed up the computer and stuff. Yeah, he taught me a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, but that email and then eBay. Yeah, eBay was early in the computer because I got a bunch of stuff off of eBay.
My fourth wife, she had a whatever, and that was DOS. So I did learn a little bit about DOS, typing. You had to type everything in. So Windows wasn't my first experiments with Windows 95 wasn't my first experiments with the computer. I actually got involved when it was DOS and whatever they called it. But yeah, I've been doing it a long time.
Well, okay, Craig, I guess we'll go ahead and sign off and then turn this over to the Paul Abraham video. And then after that, we'll show Craig's video at the Lynyrd Skynyrd concert. And then next time you see us, we'll have Greg Martin on. So happy Monday to everybody, and happy trails.
Yeah. And I ain't gonna use the clicker because we're not done yet. We're just gonna click off of our portion, and then Griff's gonna edit his. And we don't do much editing on these things. So.
Actually, Mike ESTES talks about that in the Abraham video. He goes, yeah, they said they don't do much editing, and then when we finish the podcast, about 3 seconds later, here it comes in my email. So it's pretty funny.
All right, here we go. See you later, alligator at the Wild Crocodile. Here comes Paul Abraham. The Stoned Roadie Show, number 25. Take one, roll one, and burn one down.
Welcome to the Stoned Roadie Show. We're another version of the Stoned Roadie Show with Craig Reed. Of course, Craig Reed, as we all know, is the most famous roadie in rock and roll history. And if anybody wants to dispute that, they can come on here anytime. Also, we know that Craig is the most stoned roadie in rock and roll history. And I don't think anybody's going to dispute that one. We have some really good guests. The return of Mike ESTES today. And
sound like a horror movie.
We're watching last week. We had Mike on, and then Paul Abraham saw it and got a real big kick out of it. And I said, well, hey, Paul, come on here. And he said, well, yeah, that sounds like fun. So now we have Paul Abraham. And if you think about it, we have the band manager, we have a guitarist from Skynyrd, and the roadie, and now I'm the fan. So we got a good group here. So what do you got to say, Craig? What do you think about this?
Yeah, this is pretty funny. I've known Paul now for been 48 years. I think it was like March or something of 1974. I met Paul down there in Cleveland, Mississippi. Him and his brother booked the band before they got popular, you know, and then we rolled in there into Cleveland, Mississippi and did a show, and Carl his brother come out and helped us unload the luggage into the Holiday Inn, and then he had some homegrown, so me and him become good friends real quick, you know. and then when we would show up at the shows after that, Carl would always come by. Paul was away, and Carl would come by, and for a couple of 2-3 years, Carl would come by, and then Paul come back into the picture, and then he started coming to the shows, and I'm kind of the one that kept them in the loop into the rock scene, you know, and then Paul and Billy became good friends, and then Paul and Gary became good friends, and Paul actually helped Gary drove his truck that he bought out to Jackson, Wyoming for him, and they became friends. And Paul got a book, the Gospel by Paul Abraham, yeah, and he explains about all that, you know. And last week I talked about how me and Mike got together in this whole picture, you know, and then I just kind of told you a little bit about how me and Paul became friends almost 50 years ago, you know, and now we're gonna have Paul and Mike work together on the beginning of some of the Torture Tour. We was just talking about some of the stories. I think Paul has a couple about you all want to know about when Leon got his throat cut. Well, we were cut. Well, it wasn't really a cut. That's kind of kind of an exaggerated story. Paul just said it was kind of just like an abrasion, really, you know, or something. I don't know what you would call it, but we'll get into that. But anyways, yeah, I'll stop my jibber jabber and I'll let Paul and Mike get in there and converse a little bit.
Hey, Paul, when's the last time?
Paul wants to do a little jibber jabber.
When's the last time you and Mike talked?
Oh my God,
it's been a long
while. Time. I tell you what, I was a buddy of mine that worked for Charlie, lived up there in Pegram, and him and his wife would go on vacation, and I would come up there and stay at their house, taking care of their dogs for them while they were gone. And I went out I said out of the blue one day, I said, I'd never catch him here. So I said, to hell with it. I'm going to drive out and see if I can catch Mikey. And sure enough, he was at the house. And hell, that was a long time ago.
That was 4 or 5.
At least 5 years ago.
Yeah, it was 5 years ago, actually. Yeah, because I think Crystal had just moved in, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we were married yet. So that was... Yeah. That was at least 5 years. 6
You showed me the car that George gave you.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
man! And the thing is, I never have time to drive it. It's like, it's a good one though. But it's I've had to build a shop out there since. But me and Paulie met on the tribute tour when he was working for Skynyrd at the time. He recruited me to lift some heavier objects because I had some I had some pretty I'd have a guy or two come with me, and we was all, you know, in our 20s, so we should have had to move gear, you know. and I remember the first thing I ever did on the tribute tour was help put Billy's piano
on the tribute tour, the heavy one, in the case, and they had it done pretty slick. But man, that was a big case.
Oh yeah, no
it was like a billboard, you know.
Yeah.
And so, but they had these knockout legs. You knock out the legs with a rubber hammer and flip it on its edge, and it would go in the case, and they put that lid on her. And man, it was fascinating to me. And that's when Paul and I started hanging out, and this time he needed a ride. He was hungry, and there wasn't no food at the hotel, and I just happened to be around. I carried him over there, and he got me a good pass for carrying him to the restaurant, and so my pass didn't say working on it anymore.
Yeah, really. No need in having anybody stop you at the door, man.
Yeah,
you were needed. I guarantee you. Come later on, you were needed too, man. No.
But me and Paulie done all kinds of stuff together, man. We sat in the back lounges on the bus and played songs, played John Prine and Merle Haggard songs, and just I always had a great time with Paulie wherever we were. And we've done tons of gigs together outside of Skynyrd.
Yeah.
And all kinds of cool stuff.
And we were neighbors.
Yeah, that was the best thing.
Yeah.
And man, I sure do miss you being out here, Paulie. I have since the day you left.
I miss it too, man. I miss the way it used to be, Mike. I really do.
Man, it was good. Yeah, it was good. It really was.
Paul, last week when we were talking about being over in Japan, and you were laughing, you were getting a big kick out of that, and you thought that was pretty funny. So were you there for that whole event?
Yeah, I was there for the bulk of it. And then Craig, you passed out. We were all up in the suite, weren't we? Weren't we in like Gary's suite?
I was drunk, and Zach
and
Powell
was laying in the chair.
We're together, and I went in there and I passed out drunk.
Yeah,
and they painted me up with red lipstick.
Yeah,
and then Paul called me up in the room, and he was dealing with Leon. I mean, he was dealing with a circus. Life on the road is a 3-ring circus, and it's hard to do it when you're by yourself. And I was supposed to be helping Paul a little bit, was part of my job specification, and you know me, I was doing as little as that as I could. So I was drunk like a rock star with Gary and Zach, and they painted me up, and Paul needed me to go down and see about Billy down in the lobby, who had I guess he had his health locked out of his room and didn't know where he was. So I went down there to get Billy. I was all painted up with lipstick, and Billy looked at me and just laughed, and I looked in the mirror and saw myself, and I was so drunk I didn't care. I told that story last week, but that's my version of it. Paul's got another version.
Mine's pretty much the same. I remember all that, but somehow I remember ending up in that room either after that fact or actually, it was probably after that fact, because for some reason I remember Zach Wild getting painted up too.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, didn't we paint a target on him or something? Really, Mike, I'm serious, man. It was like I had a dream or something.
I remember he showed up at the gig, and he was still hammered. Remember?
Yeah.
Because he had managed to announce us somehow that he'd bring us on stage. Remember that?
Uh-huh.
And he yelled out, "Motherfucker!"
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh God!" And he still had some kind of makeup stuff on him from the night before. That's what I remember about that.
Yeah. Well, I remember some things. I don't know. A lot of it's probably just stuff that I dreamed up. I don't know. It seemed like a lot of that stuff was a dream out there, or a nightmare at times.
Yeah,
nightmare.
Yeah, he had that bullseye guitar, which is what I think started the whole thing about him getting painted a bullseye on him because remember he had that bullseye of Les Paul.
Yeah.
And then so somebody got the idea to paint a target on him.
Yeah.
What? I didn't do it, but
No, I didn't either because from what I recall, it was on his rear end.
yeah. Craig.
I talked to Zach up a Blossom one time, and I was telling him about me going to rehab. He goes, "Yeah, they tried to put me in rehab too, but I escaped."
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, there's another. I don't know. Do you remember going to Koblenz, Germany?
I don't. I didn't go to Europe.
Oh,
No.
okay.
No, I've
Okay.
been there, but not with Skynyrd. I wasn't. Yeah.
Okay. But I know you've been there. You're leaving again soon, right?
Yeah.
God dang. How long y'all gonna be over there?
6 weeks.
Wow.
That's too long, really. But
I know it.
but,
I always should. We were there, 2 or 3 weeks at a time, and I was.
yeah, I remember when y'all went, and it was like a couple weeks, and that was plenty long enough.
Well, we were in Koblenz, Germany. It's right on the Rhine River. It's where two rivers come together, actually. So I went out for a walk, and I came back to the hotel, and I see Billy there covered in blood at the front desk. Covered in blood. His head. I mean, it looked like he was bleeding from his head. And I go running up there, and the hotel manager said, "Is this one of yours?" And I said, "Yeah." "What happened to him? Somebody attack him?" He said, "No, he was down in the parking garage downstairs and couldn't find his way out, so he broke the fire alarm thing, and it cut his hand, and he had blood all over him, man, literally."
I remember you telling me.
They had to send the fire chief down there to get him out of the damn parking structure. But that was one time. But it seemed like him and Gary or anybody else would always wait till we got out of the country to really, really, really mess up. And it happened a few times.
Paul, didn't you say that you had Billy for a roommate for a while too?
Well, Mike and I were neighbors.
Real close. I mean, neighbors. Close.
Neighbors.
Oh, yeah?
Out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, 3 houses on this one road, and it's actually where Mike lives now.
Yeah.
But down at the end of that road was my house, and then his log house was the one you could see from my house. But it was maybe 100 yards away.
Yeah, about a football field. Yeah.
But I had to go, and I mean, God love him. Billy's gone, and I hate to talk about him, but he had a real bad drinking problem, and he got up into this hotel room in Jacksonville, and he wouldn't come out. So I hear about this, and I think Joe Boyland or Charlie or somebody called and asked me if I could go get Billy, and I'm like, and I'm in Tennessee, and he's in Jacksonville. So we get in touch with Brian Evers, and Brian meets me at the airport with Billy. So me and Billy get on a plane and fly back to Nashville. And then the next thing you know, we're at my house. First thing Billy does is takes my damn remote control from my television. So my house was no longer my house. And then you and I had started already doing the driving sideways thing, I believe.
Yeah. We had Billy played in sideways on a few gigs.
Yeah, he played that
Atlanta.
He did, yes, exactly. But he also did the demo of the Intimidator.
Yes, he
Put the
did.
solo on that.
Yeah.
Just on the demo though.
Yeah.
Regrettably.
Yeah. Regrettably, yeah.
But he lived at my house for a little while, and then he found out that Mike had a really nice couch down there.
That one behind me.
In his basement, and that's where Billy ended up. But it was another thing. Now, Billy never had a driver's license. Never had a driver's license.
Never had one.
And he, this other friend of ours, I'm gonna still call him a friend. I hadn't really talked to him in a long time, but Billy was dried up. I mean, he wasn't
dried
drinking.
out, but
He wasn't drinking.
I got to interject something right there. And when he came to my house, I don't know if you and Debbie had made some kind of deal that I didn't know about, but she told me, if you take him down there to that store and get him beer, then you're gonna have to leave.
Yeah,
and she, she was nothing like this,
Yeah.
And I went, hang on a second. Oh, I almost went and did it just because it pissed me off.
But you didn't have to.
Yeah,
you didn't have to, because James showed up with Valium and Budweiser, two of Billy's favorite things at the time, and he was in a damn rental car. And I came home from town. I'd gone down to Music Row or somewhere to do something. I can't remember what. And I see this damn rental car out there cutting donuts out there in that big old field out there, just on the other side of your house.
Yep.
And man, Billy was driving and cutting donuts on high as hell on Valium and Budweiser. And I said, well, Billy, I think that's about it for me, buddy. So I think within a few days after that, he was back with Ellen, and thankfully, she took care of it. God bless her. God bless her, boy.
Oh God, I hated it when they would. I always wanted them to be okay, man. He needed her bad, It was like,
no kidding.
But man, I had so much fun with him. I mean, there was not a time I'd be with him when I wasn't crying, laughing.
Yeah. I know it. He was hilarious.
God, he was
hilarious.
So
riding on that bus with him and Leon and Randall and good Lord Almighty. It was so funny. Some of the things we did and said.
And Mike was talking about the time Billy forgot the intro to was it Freebird?
That's the only time I ever seen him mess up. Yeah, it was one time on stage in Japan.
And that was in Japan. So that makes sense.
When he didn't remember being there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he told me. Well, I said something about we had done some recording while we were there for Sony, some kind of acoustic set, and then we did some other stuff. And I was talking to Billy about it. I said, do you want to hear the tape from Sony that we did while we was in Japan? And he goes, we weren't in Japan. I was like, yeah, it was just like not a few months ago. He goes, how long were we there? And I said, I about almost 2 weeks, not quite. And he said, shit, I don't remember a minute of it.
Yeah, it's true. That is true story.
But yeah, it was killing me when we all found out he had gotten the wrong room, and after thought his luggage had been stolen.
Oh yeah. Oh man, what a rigmarole that was. The damn hotel manager. They were
everybody. Yeah, this was like an international incident, man.
Yeah. That's funny.
It was.
You guys, Craig had mentioned about the Leon Wilkerson throat cut thing. You guys want to go ahead and talk about Paul? I think you can start that off. Because you were right there.
Well, that was when Rhonda, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
His ex. She was there, and she had Leon up in the room with a gun. She was holding him hostage, and I what's going on? And they told me, I go, you got to be kidding me! And everybody didn't want to go up there, because they didn't really knew her, and I was pretty good friends with her. So I said, I'll go up there. So I went up there, and she goes, what do you want? And I said, I come up to get Leon. Everybody, they're afraid they're afraid you'll shoot them. I said, she won't shoot me. You won't shoot me, will you? And she goes, I might. And I was, I was high, so I wasn't afraid, but after I thought about it, I kind of went, wow, that bitch would have shot me. She was nuts, yeah.
Or worse. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
No, I ain't gonna say it. Never mind.
But that happened in, as well as I can recall. I'm gonna say it happened in St. Louis. Mike thought it might be on the bus. I thought we were in the parking lot somewhere, but I mean, I know it was in St. Louis, though. I know we were at the damn Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah, that was a nice hotel. I remember that.
Very nice.
Yeah, and Ed had that room, the bathroom. He'd always get the same room at that hotel because it had that tile bathroom in it, the big one.
Yeah.
And man, we'd go in there and turn the lights off. It sounds crazy, but we'd turn lights off and he'd just play Mandolin Man in that room. And God, did it sound good, man.
There was another funny story. Another funny story happened in St. Louis. We were there's a airport out right across the street from this hotel we were in. There's a Hilton or something there. And we got there early in the morning and hardly any of the rooms were ready. So Ed was antsy. He wanted to get into his room and I kept telling him, and we had the accountant checking us in and all that stuff. And I said, Ed, just hang on the bus, and soon as they're ready, I'll come get you. Next thing I know, I turn around and look, and here comes Ed through the front door in his bathrobe. He sat his ass down right there in that lobby, right in front of the desk, and I mean, they got him a room quick.
Man, I'm telling you, that was and that lesson did not go unlearned by me. Since then, I have put the entire band in the lobby of a hotel in Europe after, being out, everybody stinks like cigarettes and beer, whatever, looks like complete hell. And we plant right in the lobby. Believe how quick they get the rooms.
They really do, buddy. They really do that. They're hustling up.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That was a great road lesson. I said, I'm going to remember that one.
Yeah.
So to follow up on that Leon story, it wasn't much of a throat cut. It was just like a
celebration.
Nah, it wasn't hardly anything.
Yeah, because I know on all the fan sites, that's like a big thing,
I know it, and it's nothing. It was really nothing.
Was he bleeding pretty good, though? Got that? Because Ed told me he was.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he had a pretty good little cut on him, but I mean, and again, I'm not sure if it was a knife or a bottle or a beer top or something. I don't know. It just, but it happened quick, and I saw Leon with some kind of a rag or a cloth or a towel or something, just kind of put it up there to his throat.
Yeah,
his blood had come through the damn thing, so.
Yeah,
kind of it wasn't like he was in shock or anything.
Well, Paul, we were talking earlier about, did you have a good Ronnie Van Zant story? And you mentioned the one in Tampa.
Okay. Okay, here we go. All right, again, this is how I remember it. Ed King pretty much verified it to me later on when he sent me a chapter of his book for me to read. And it mentions this particular incident, but we were Tampa, and Skynyrd had. I'm thinking Skynyrd either opened for Chicago or I don't remember, Craig, for sure.
Yeah, we did. We opened for Chicago. Yeah,
exactly. And so after the show. We're all running around, and I was telling y'all Bob Burns was wanting to drive my car, so here I am with that crazy nut driving my car, and I had no idea how terrible he was behind the wheel, but he was.
What car was it?
I had I think I had a damn Volkswagen or something, man. I mean, I really think it was a Volkswagen Bug, but we got back to the hotel later on after the show. It was I think they did their set in the afternoon, so we had all evening. So Ronnie decides he wants to go to a bar. And we had somebody down there that had picked us out this bar to go to. Well, it turned out it was a damn gay bar. So we go to this gay bar.
That's a dirty trick, man.
Oh, buddy. Well, Ronnie picked up on this thing and took it back to the hotel. And I mean, real tall, looked like a woman to me. I don't know, but somehow or another he found out it wasn't a woman, and I hear all this ruckus, man. I mean, just screaming and hollering, and the next thing I knew, I see Ronnie come out of his hotel room carrying this thing and threw it or whatever you want to call it. I hope I don't get in trouble for this. Threw it over the damn rail into the parking lot, and got up and ran like crazy. I mean, so it didn't kill the girl. I don't know what his pronouns were.
Yeah. It's like these four guys are not going. I don't even know what any of these pronouns mean. Much less.
Oh my God, that's so ridiculous. I'm telling you. But anyway,
look at Craig with Ronnie's head.
Oh geez. Well, that happened. That happened, and again, Ed confirmed it in his book, and I don't know if it's ever going to be released or not. I mean, last time I talked to Sharon, they said that it was in the works, but God only knows.
Yeah.
Well, like I said before, a lot of those pictures you see of Ronnie with his hands all taped up.
Yeah.
That's what that was from. He would miss that guy every once in a while.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul, why don't you show us what your book looks like there, and maybe tell a little bit something about how somebody can get a copy of that thing.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can
Yes,
see
you
it.
can.
Yeah, I can see it. That's cool.
You know what? It's not so much about Skynyrd or Billy Ray or it's about us, about me, about what I've done. I mean, growing up in the Mississippi Delta, some of the crazy ass shit we used to do, and I mean, there's some pretty funny stuff in here. And then some not so funny stuff too, like when I had to go away to summer camp for about three and a half freaking years.
Yeah, that was a long summer too.
It sure as hell was, longest one I've ever spent. But it's just got and it's got road stories about things that we did or things that we shouldn't have done. There's a story in there about Lemmy.
Oh,
I don't know. Lemmy we were in Berlin or somewhere like that, and I was looking for Leon and couldn't find him. And I found him downstairs in the bar with Lemmy, and I didn't have a clue who Lemmy was, but he kind of was. And then we went on from there to Paris.
Guitar Roadie.
Yeah, he was.
Really.
He was iconic. He turned out.
Oh yeah, no
man.
doubt about it, man. I mean, I found out since I've never.
He was a roadie. He was Jimi Hendrix Guitar Roadie. Yeah.
I have never listened to Motorhead in my life.
I saw him,
and I still haven't.
I saw the original band. Yeah,
I'm an oldies and goodies kind of guy myself. Yeah,
and Lemmy's a legend. Lemmy's a legend.
Is people might not be able to see it too well. But that T-shirt you're wearing, that's Ed King right there.
Yeah, not for sale. I've got to make that.
Don't ask about getting one of those shirts because you
don't ask about getting one. It's you're just wasting ink.
Now, if you want books, that's cool. You can
you can go on Amazon and get it. I mean, I used to keep a lot of them here, but it got to the point where they slowed down moving a lot, and I just hadn't re-upped my order.
All right, Craig, we better wrap it up. We're gonna be here all day.
All right, yeah, man, yeah. So yeah, we'll talk about maybe doing another one, next week or so. So
that was fun.
All right, well, yeah.
Great seeing you, Paulie.
You too, Mikey. Have fun.
Yeah, this was number 25. Are we ready to go?
Yeah, we're ready to go. Number 25.
All right, this was number 25.
My favorite part.
What? They said, what they if you ever want to start a podcast, it takes at least 25 before you can become comfortable at it. This is number 25 for us.
Wow.
It really is. We started, we didn't know what we were going to do, what to do. So we just did it, and we haven't done any editing or anything. We just let's just
Not
roll
one
with it.
time.
Yeah, Paulie, he told me, said, well, we're going to edit it and then I'll send you a copy of it. The copy arrived in my email like 3 seconds later.
Oh, yeah. That's a hell of an edit right there, buddy.
Yeah, we don't like to work too hard.
Man, those guys are quick.
No shit. Should have had you helping me write this damn book.
I might have gotten in trouble.
Yeah. Well,
All right, that's it. Let's
Nice
call
seeing
that
you,
a wrap.
man.
This is number 25 of the Stone Roadie Show, and that was take one and roll one and burn one down. That's
adios.
Adios.
See y'all.
See you next time.
All right, buddy.
I'm proud, Ohio. This don't get you nothing will, baby. Turn around, huh? Big wheels keep on turning. Carry me home to my pen. Singing songs about the Southland. I miss Alabama once again and play the sin. Yeah. Well, I heard the sin sing about. Well, I heard O'Neill put down. Well, I hope the young will remember. What do you say, Ohio? Southern land don't leave you behind in your house. Sing it, baby. Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are blue. Sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you. In Birmingham, they love the governor. What to say? Now we all did what we could do. Now Watergate does not bother me. Does your conscience bother you? Now tell the truth. Sing it, baby. Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are blue. Sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you. Half call, Alabama. Ah, there's good people in Ohio today, don't you agree? Now Mr. Shows ain't got swamp hurts, and they've been known to pick a song or two. Lord, they get me off so much. What do you say, people? They pick me up when I'm feeling blue. Now how about you? Break it down. Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are blue. Sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you. One more time, your turn. Oh, sweet home, baby. And the governor's true, real loud. Lord, yeah. Woo, woo, yeah, yeah. Now Montgomery's got the answer, people. But I think you get people right here in Ohio got
To me, there's nothing freer than birds, you know, just flying wherever it wants to go. And that's what this country's all about, you know, being free. And I think everybody wants to be a free bird.
it. We're going to be hearing about it.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep token until then.